You know, if there's one anime trope that I'll never get tired of, it's the iconic tournament arc. It's been one of my favorite story arcs ever since I was a little kid watching Naruto battle his way through the Chunin Exams. I just remember being glued to my screen as I saw Rock Lee stake his life against Gaara, and as Naruto shocked the crowd in his fight against Neji. The tournament arc has been a common trope in shonen anime ever since the OG Dragon Ball days, and has evolved beyond just physical combat. We've seen them used in stories about sports, cooking, and heck, even playing children's card games. But unfortunately, as the number of anime increases, more and more bad tournament arcs appear as well. After consuming God knows how many series, I can confidently say that not all tournament arcs are created equally. Some of them drag on far too long, feel low stakes, and leave you wondering why the characters are even participating. So today, I wanted to delve into the anatomy of what makes the perfect tournament arc, as well as how to remedy some common issues. I'll be doing so by dissecting 3 of my favorites: the Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho, Battle City from Yu-Gi-Oh!, and the Kengan Annihilation Tournament from Kengan Ashura. I'll try not to reveal any big surprises or tournament winners, but there will be some minor spoilers since I'll be discussing all 3 series. So do not continue if you don't want spoilers of any kind. Now that you've been warned, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so the most obvious thing that a story needs to lay out first is the reason as to why the main characters enter to the tournament in the first place. And this isn't me saying that, oh, if they don't win this tournament, then the whole world would be destroyed. What I mean is that, if that is the reason for why the main cast has to enter the tournament, then why not just head directly to the main villain and defeat them right away? Why bother with all the rules and limitations that comes with entering a tournament when the fate of the world is at stake? If not given a good reason for why the heroes can't just go smack the villain right in their face, then the tournament arc could feel forced and out of place. But all 3 series that I'll be talking about did a great job of providing a believable reason as to why the main characters would put themselves through such a long and difficult process. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, in addition to having to save the world, Yugi and the Pharaoh joined the Battle City tournament in hopes of uncovering the ancient pharaoh's past. But in order to do so, the two must collect all 3 Egyptian god cards. This is a task that is not simply achievable by just defeating the main villain of the arc, considering that Seto Kaiba was one of the owners of the god cards. Moreover, the main villain of the arc, Merrick, stayed hidden for the entire first half of Battle City. It would have been impossible for Yugi to just find him and defeat him outright. It was only by going through the many duels in Battle City that Yugi was able to collect the god cards and even confront Merrick in the first place. Then, in the Dark Tournament, Yusuke and his team were literally forced to join, or risk the possibility of the younger Toguro going after all their loved ones. And while I guess technically they could have tried to fight Team Toguro from the get-go, they were honestly just not strong enough. It's not outwardly stated, but the rounds before the finals were a good opportunity for the main cast to grow stronger in preparation for Team Toguro. I mean, just look at Hiei's evolution from barely being able to control the Dragon of the Darkness Flame in round 1 to being able to tame it in the final round. They were only able to gain so much experience and strength by overcoming the difficulties that each round presented. And finally, the entire premise of Kengan Ashura revolves around the Kengan Tournament. In the series, major corporations form the Kengan Association, where CEOs make business deals and wager company shares through one-on-one physical fights involving the representative fighters. The Kengan Tournament provides a chance for CEOs to achieve the status of Kengan Chairman, one of the most influential positions in this universe. It wouldn't make sense for any CEO to bypass the tournament and directly challenge the current chairman's fighter, as the other CEOs wouldn't accept the results. The tournament ensures that each CEO has a fair chance. And as for the fighters, they have more than enough motivation to enter, as it's the perfect chance to prove their strength. Each of these series provides a good reason for the main characters to enter and participate in their tournaments. And by establishing these strong reasons, these series lay the groundwork for engaging tournament arcs that feel integral to the story rather than forced or out of place. Now, it's no secret that tournament arcs allow authors to introduce a wide cast of new characters all at once. But a well-crafted tournament arc goes beyond just introducing new faces. It provides a chance to develop both our protagonist and their opponents. In Yu Yu Hakusho, we witness Yusuke's transformation from a brash, naive brawler to a formidable spiritual warrior. And it's not just Yusuke who evolves. Kuwabara, who is often seen as the underdog, shows tremendous growth in both power and spirit. Even Hiei, who was initially a loner, begins to form bonds with his teammates. A good tournament is used as a powerful tool for facilitating this type of character development. It provides a series of escalating challenges that forces the characters to overcome their limits. In Battle City, we see Joey Wheeler evolve from an amateur duelist to a formidable opponent worthy of being in the semifinals. Each duel he faces presents a new obstacle, pushing him to improve his skills. And while it's crucial to develop your main cast, it is equally as important to develop all the new side characters you just introduced. In Kengan Ashura, we're not just rooting for the main character Oma. This is because characters like Imai Cosmo and Wakatsuki Takeshi became fan favorites due to their compelling backstories and growth throughout the tournament. I'm sure if you asked a dozen Kengan Ashura fans who their favorite fighter is, you would probably get a dozen different answers. The series just does a great job of making you fall in love with characters who are introduced for just a handful of fights. The perfect tournament arc finds a balance in developing existing characters while also integrating newcomers. It pushes the main characters to new heights while also introducing a diverse array of compelling new characters that enrich the overall story. Let's face it, for many viewers, the fights are the heart and soul of any tournament arc. It's where all the new characters that were just introduced come face to face in exciting battles. But good authors elevate these battles beyond mere physical fights and use them as a chance to showcase creativity, strategy, and conflicting philosophies. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, we see this play out through diverse dueling tactics. Seto Kaiba's aggressive playing style, fueled by powerful monsters, contrasts sharply with Joey Wheeler's high-risk, high-reward gambling deck. Each duel becomes a clash not just of cards, but of personalities and approaches to the game. And then Kengan Ashura takes this concept to another level by pitting various real-world martial arts against each other. From Gaolong's boxing to Okubo's MMA, we get to see the strengths and weaknesses of real-life fighting styles and how they would match up against each other. But like I said, the best tournament arcs go beyond just the physical aspects of combat. They explore clashing ideologies and philosophies as well. In Yu Yu Hakusho, the fight against Team Masho isn't just about winning or losing. For Team Masho, it's a desperate bid for freedom, a chance to escape the dark underbelly of the demon world and live in the daylight. Similarly, in Kengan Ashura, while many fighters do step into the ring for personal glory, others have something beyond that. Ray fights due to his undying loyalty for his employer, while Sal Payne fights to protect something precious to him. In my opinion, the best series make us empathize with, and sometimes even root for, the opposition. It's not uncommon to find yourself torn between wanting both fighters to win because you respect and understand their ideals. By combining spectacular action with deep character motivations, these fights become the culmination of everything that makes the tournament arc great. Now in this section, I want to talk about two big issues that you'll find in a bad tournament arc, as well as some possible solutions. The first thing that often plagues bad tournament arcs are the low stakes. Circling back to the example of, oh, if they don't win this tournament, then the whole world will be destroyed, it's not that the fate of the world is something that is low stake. But it's so unbelievable that any author would just let the world be destroyed that it's almost guaranteed that the good guys will win. As a result, this could lower the stakes of each individual match as we pretty much know who will be the winner. And I get it, if I'm an author and the bad guys winning would pretty much end my series, then of course I'm gonna have the good guys win. But I think in order to keep things interesting, it's important to shift the focus from if the main characters will win to how will they win. What I mean is that, by putting them in impossible situations and giving them crazy handicaps, you can still make the viewers feel tension and keep them engaged. In Battle City, there are multiple instances of the villains cheating. Whether it's a rare hunter marking his cards, or a fake psychic getting information fed to him, the heroes are constantly faced with difficult challenges. And yeah, maybe we know that they'll overcome it, but it's still fun to watch how they can defeat an opponent that seems to have every advantage. Then in Yu Yu Hakusho, against Team Masho, Kuwabara was heavily injured, and Hiei and the masked fighter were held captive, leaving just Kurama and Yusuke to do most of the fighting. It was crazy to see basically just two fighters take on an elite team of demons who were hyped up to be one of the stronger teams in the tournament. I remember being a kid wondering how the hell would Yusuke defeat the remaining enemies after seeing Kurama nearly lose his life. Another way to keep the stakes high is to honestly just throw in some unexpected wins and losses. I don't want to say too much, but Kengan is honestly the king of subverting expectations. There are just so many unique characters introduced in this series, and just when you are so sure that a certain character has to proceed to the next round, he ends up losing to the most unexpected fighter. If your story can afford it, then having a tournament where it legitimately feels like anyone could lose at any given time is the best way to keep your audience on their toes. The second problem that a tournament arc can have is that it just drags on far too long. It's fine to have a long tournament, but when it's bogged down by boring fights and dull characters, it can literally be torture. The best way to combat this issue is to introduce an interesting subplot that runs alongside the main tournament. In Battle City, we don't just constantly follow Yugi's quest. We often switch point of views to see Joy's growth as well. In the manga, Joy's reason for entering the tournament is to become a true duelist, and while this isn't straight out said in the anime, he still follows the same story arc. It was so entertaining to watch him defeat Yugi's past opponents, and it served as a nice way to break up all the dramatic duels Yugi was encountering with the rare hunters. And then when Joy gets brainwashed and the two plotlines finally converge, it resulted in one of the greatest duels in the show. Then, in Yu Yu Hakusho, the subplot of the mysterious masked fighter was something that kept me curious throughout the entire arc. I remember questioning whether they were Genkai or not, and the little reveals we got with each match kept me constantly changing my answer. And finally, Kengan Ashura excels in keeping the audience engaged with its various subplots. From Oma's mysterious past to Kasamasa's rebellion, these subplots ensure that even if a particular fight isn't captivating, there's always something to keep the audience entertained. And there you have it, the anatomy of the perfect tournament arc. From compelling motivations and rich character development, to creative fights and clashing ideologies, these elements come together to create one of my favorite tropes in anime. Let me know in the comments which tournament arc is your favorite. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of anime and manga. Until next time, peace.